accept the past.
Execute Order 66.
We worked really closely with Lucasfilm on this, so every aspect of the game, it's been built with the mind of how does it fit into Star Wars. There are a lot of familiar elements in the game, like planets that you've already seen in the movies or the TV series, and characters that you've seen in Rogue One, like Saw Gerrera. But there's a lot of new content that we're introducing to the game as well.
Seer, Grease, this is Saw.
How you doing?
So we definitely spent a lot of time making sure that we were connecting the story of Jedi Fallen Order to the larger Star Wars universe to make sure that that was like cohesive. I think that was one of the kind of critical moments where it was good to have already been a fan, because if you were not, like trying to read up on all of that would have been an exhausting thing. But we definitely had Lucasfilm's help as well in kind of navigating that. There were a lot of times where we would pitch them and be able to hear like, oh, actually you can't use that character because we're using them for these reasons, or like other things like that, which was nice to be able to kind of have those boundaries. But they also gave us tons of freedom to kind of create and play. So in regards to making sure that people could have kind of a through line, we wanted to mention and talk about different events that have happened in the Star Wars universe. For instance, Order 66 looms large in our game. You also see Kashyyyk, and of course we all know that that was the site of a major battle during Revenge of the Sith. So you might see some fallout from that as well as you go through that planet. So yeah, that we tried to make sure that different things from basically the books, the movies, the shows, that we kind of wove in as much as we could.
It was really a collaboration with Lucasfilm on trying to nail how does this fit into Star Wars, and does it really feel Star Wars? And that's really in the details of like even just the wall or the floor or the flower that's growing in the planet. It's built with that in mind.
The environmental storytelling in Fallen Order comes from two major forms, one of which is Cal's Force Echoes. He has a kind of unique ability called psychometry, which not a lot of Jedis have. So he basically can touch an object and he can sense a moment in time through the Force in that object, which is pretty cool. So he can kind of go around and hear like different stories that have happened to people, and we primarily use this to world build and to character build. So you might be going through a village and you might see what happened to the villagers there through the Force Echoes, as we call them.
Right. We need another power source.
The other primary method that we do for environmental storytelling are scans, and that's actually through BD1. So both BD1 and Cal will kind of increase your fluency of the world and kind of the context. So BD1 kind of scans more technological things that Cal wouldn't necessarily immediately be able to pick up like a Force signature from. So they kind of both have their own sets of environmental storytelling tools that help you understand the world.
What was that? Just gotta find our opening. Enemy is under us.
So the planet Zepho, which is also home to the now extinct Zepho civilization, is one of our planets that we created in-house at Respawn, of course with the help of Lucasfilm, which was great. What can I tell you about Zepho? It's a very windy planet, and the winds there are actually kind of interesting. They're electromagnetic winds, which actually interfere with some of the stuff that the Empire is trying to do there. What else can I tell you? It's the home of a lot of ancient tombs that you will be traversing. I think that's about all I can say about Zepho for
now. Making a unique planet for an IP like Star Wars is a huge undertaking and a really fun challenge for us. So when we made Zepho, it was just a lot of back and forth with Lucasfilm to find out what fits within the IP, what works within all the other planets in the galaxy, how can we make something unique with us. I don't want to say too much because there's spoilers, and I want players to experience and understand what Zepho is all about. It's a big part of the game, understanding what happened to those people and what's happened since and why is the Empire there. But working with Lucas to make new planets has been extremely fun, whereas we come up with a great idea and they help us make sure that that fits in with the IP. And it's also been fun working on planets that people already know, like Kashyyyk, and creating new areas on something like Kashyyyk that people think, oh, you think you know everything about this? Well, here's like a new thing that we worked with Lucas to form and build on the lore that's already there.